This presentation will summarize the invaluable lessons that our team learned about the corporate environment from our 4 interviews. For our project, we interviewed an engineering professor, a business analyst, a CEO, and a project manager. From our interviews, we concluded that the professor was a C-type personality, the business analyst was an I, the CEO was a D, and the project manager was an I. Their types of personalities were evident when answering our interview questions. Our interview questions were directed to gain insight into how to succeed with working in groups in a corporate setting. The main categories that were derived were brainstorming, team decision-making, team meeting cultures, working relationships, working difficulties, and individual skills needed to function well in a team. It was evident that the engineer and the business analyst had different perspectives on brainstorming than the CEO and project manager. The engineer and business analyst were focused on finding solutions during brainstorming. They mentioned doing a deep dive and gaining as much insight about the current market as they could in a short time. Additionally, they discussed analyzing current solutions and finding ways to improve them by looking at solutions in nature. Alternatively, the businessmen were more concerned about making sure that everyone in their team was happy. They wanted to encourage everyone on the team that the goal was possible and to make sure that everyone's voice is heard during the meetings. Their main focus was to make sure that everyone shared the same common goal. For team decision-making, our interviewees all had the same general idea. They pointed out that if the decision to be made is in your own field, then you need to be responsible for that decision. Alternately, if the decision to be made is outside of your field, then it is your responsibility to supply all of the background knowledge that you can to the person in charge of the decision. However, no matter who makes the decision, all relevant stakeholders need to be updated on the progress. When discussing team meeting cultures, there was another clear divide between the engineer and business analyst and the CEO and project manager. The engineer and business analyst wanted to clear up as much ambiguity as possible during team meetings and to make sure that ideas were never dismissed without efficient analysis because solutions could come from anyone. However, again, the CEO and project manager were focused on making sure that everyone on the team was treated with equal importance. They wanted to ensure that everyone had a chance to talk, that objections were embraced, and emotions were controlled during the meetings. Everyone had the same perspective on how to maintain a working relationship. They find that it's important to maintain relationships outside of work, with activities such as slow-pitch softball teams and going to the bar after work. While during working hours, team members need to focus on keeping the environment friendly and remaining selfless when making decisions. The CEO specifically mentioned that teammates need to inform each other about any personal qualities that may frustrate the team. This way, the team knows that the person is cognitive of their qualities, and the team can tell them when their quality is impairing the functionality of the team. Every field involves difficult conversations, but the manner in which different people confront them differ. For example, the project manager wants to confront the difficult conversations as soon as the problems arise, while the engineer waits until it is absolutely necessary to have these conversations. This is most likely due to the fact that the project manager is more concerned about the interpersonal relationships on his teams, while the engineer wants to finish the project as soon as possible. Our last interview question asked about personal skills that are necessary to be successful in the corporate environment. The skills that were mentioned by our interviewees are applicable to all 4 fields that our interviewees work in. They mentioned that soft skills, such as being a good listener and being able to communicate between departments, are imperative to success. The engineers need to be able to talk with the marketing department, and the project managers need to be able to talk with other project managers in different parts of the company. Additionally, a strong knowledge of the products that the company makes is necessary for developing, analyzing, and selling the products. Lastly, everyone needs a strong background knowledge in their own field. For example, the CEO that we interviewed has been in the auto engineering field for over 10 years, and the engineering professor worked for top-notch engineering companies for 20 years before becoming a professor. From our interviews, we concluded that the obtained advice closely mirrors the material that we are learning in this class. We confirmed that although it is important to have a strong background knowledge in your field, the soft skills are really what are going to allow you to succeed in the corporate environment. Working on a team is a skill that everyone needs to develop, and this class is just the beginning.